everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's for sewing for noobs we are going to do a maxi skirt. You can't really see much of it now because it's just a blob of fabric, but you're going to have an elasticated waist. So same thing as the last tutorial where you made a channel for some drawstring, this time for elastic, and some little slits on either side for a bit more movement. You can always take them off if you want, and you can play around with different types of fabric just so you can have different effects. Let's get started with the tutorial. Alright, so first you will need a few measurements. I'll let you admire my lovely PJs, most comfortable thing ever. But first of all, you need your hip measurement. So just go on the widest part of your body, which should be by the bum area, and just get your measurements. Then go from your waist to where you want to finish. So for me it's going to be on the ankle, and then you just need to see where you want your slit to be finishing, what height. For me it's going to be above just about my knee area. Once you have all of this, we can draw our patterns or just draw directly on our fabric. So for the pattern, it's quite easy. It's just a rectangle. It's going to be cut twice, so one front, one back. For the length, it's going to be your waist to ankle measurements, or wherever you want your skirt to finish, plus 3 centimeters for the channel, so we can feed the elastic through, and 2.5 centimeters to finish the hem. For the width, is going to be your hip measurements divided by 2, simply because we have 2 pieces. And we're going to add a bit of ease, so it's going to be a bit more comfy to move into. So I'm adding 30 centimeters. You can add more. If you add more, it's just going to add more volumes, and plus 2 centimeters seam allowance. Alright, so now once everything is cut up, you should have 2 rectangles of fabric. You're going to place them right sides together, and we are going to look after the side seam. The first thing to do is to mark up where your opening will start on your sides. Once that's done, pin everything in place so nothing will move, and then we are going to sew from the top of the skirt all the way to your markings. Use a straight stitch and a 1 centimeter seam allowance. If you do not want to have any slits at the bottom, it's not a problem at all. Just sew all the way from the top to the bottom of your skirt. Once you're done, you should have a tube when you look it from the top, and at the bottom you should have 2 flaps. So now it's time to hem the flaps. So what we are going to do is cut a slit within the seam allowance where the sewing line of the side seam stops. So just there, and do not cut past your sewing line. So make sure it's just a small slit, big enough to fold everything in about 1 centimeter. Once you've done that, what you're going to do is fold each end of the flaps towards the inside of the fabric, about 1 centimeter in. You can iron everything so everything is nice and flushed, and you can pin everything as well, so just like so. And you're going to repeat that on each side. So once everything is pinned in place, what we're going to do now is use a 0.5 centimeter seam allowance, and you're going to go from the hem of one side, go up a few stitches from your side seam, and then turn around the corners, go across, and then finish up with hemming the other side. So you never actually stop stitching at any point. So once you reach the opening, the beginning of the opening, go up a few stitches to keep everything nice and secure, and then just go across and then go back down. So now it's time to make the channel for the elastic. I'm using an elastic that is 2.5 centimeters wide. So you're going to fold your fabric towards the inside 3 centimeter in, and just iron everything so it makes it a lot easier, and that should leave you 0.5 centimeter seam allowance and enough room for your elastic to be comfy in. Then once everything is folded, you can sew your channel shut with a 0.5 centimeter seam allowance. Make sure to leave an opening of about 3-4 centimeters on one side so we can feed the elastic through the channel. Alright, so once your channel is closed, we can feed the elastic through it. So it's the same way as for the drawstring bag tutorial. So what you will need is a safety pin or a nappy pin, and put it at the end of your elastic and start feeding it through your channel. I would highly recommend you to secure the other end of your elastic to your skirt, so that way it doesn't escape and be a problem for you. Once the elastic is in the channel, you can just put the two ends together and sew them together. I unfortunately lost the footage, and then you can sew the opening shut. Then you can just stretch everything out so the fabric will go around a bit more evenly. And if you don't want your elastic to ever twist and be scrunched up in one side or the other, you can put a line of stitching in the middle. The only thing to remember with that is to make sure to stretch your elastic or your waistband as you go along, and that's going to be the result. It's going to give you a very nice and clean finish to your waistband, and it will never twist on you, so it stays nice and flushed against your skin. The last thing to do is just to hem the skirt. So I have added a 2.5 centimeter hem, so just fold your fabric towards the inside, 2.5 centimeter in. Ironing always helps, and then just sew it in place and you're done. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and sorry it was a bit quiet on this channel for the last 2 months or so. Too much studying to do, so hopefully things are going to go back to normal over the next few weeks, and I can go back into making videos and making sewing projects. I've not been able to sew much lately, so I am missing it. And if you want to see an update video, you can always let me know. I'm not going to make one if nobody cares, 'cause no point. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!